Guitar Stories Podcast, your number one show for everything guitar.
Hey everybody! Hi Dan.
Hello everyone. Episode
Alf,
57. Hello Alf.
Hello, Alf's here. He's looking for cats. Welcome to episode 57 of the Guitar Stories Podcast. I'm super excited today, Dan. Ask me why.
Why?
It's nearly Christmas.
Oh. Did you open your advent calendar today?
I did.
What was in there?
I say I did. My kids did.
All right.
It's the other snow. We have a Lego Star Wars calendar, advent calendar. Dan gave me one. Dan has one for himself. And thank you for that, by the way. On the air.
You're welcome.
That's an on the air thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a snow shooting thing because it's a snow scene.
All right.
Second one, I don't know what the word for it is. Honestly, my kids are so wound up that I'm using this to be excited about Christmas, because at the moment Christmas in my house is a bit of a touchy subject because the kids are so wound up. They're like, ah, full on Christmas mode. They don't know really what it is, but it's coming. It's coming.
When are you setting up the Christmas tree?
We do it Austrian style. So in case any kids are listening right now, close your ears. Why you'd be listening to this, I do not know. But the Christkind sets up the Christmas tree on the evening of the 24th.
Yeah, so you open the presents on the 25th. So you open presents on the 25th then?
No, 24th.
All right, okay.
So the Christkind delivers the Christmas tree and
the presents
it with Mummy, and then the kids go out with Oma whilst everybody decorates the tree and puts the presents under the tree. God, I hope no kids are listening to this. Anyway, if you were, that's just in Austria. Everybody else, Father Christmas delivers the presents, so that's fine.
Yeah. Cool. People say your voice mic's too low, and mine is too high. Yeah, so put it up a little bit, and maybe mine a little bit down, a touch.
Sure. I mean, I could just turn mine up. Hold on. Mine is super loud in my headphones, so that's why I was messing it around. Oh, it is. You're right. Absolutely right. Oh my goodness, it's like I was in a different.
Now you're much louder
on a planet.
Yeah. On Melmac, you were broadcasting directly from Melmac. Yeah.
Dan, I want to bring the attention of the podcast to something very special, and that is an eBay auction that I have going on at the moment. It is rolling right now. So let's give the people some news. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Oh, I need to refresh the page. eBay auction on a Guitar Geek Christmas tree hanger made by SJ Art and wife of Fergie, Brian. I'm going to refresh the page to see how much it's on. 60 British pounds, I should say. 60 British pounds. This is one of two that are available. Henning bought one, and then there's this one on eBay, and there'll be another one up for grabs. Possibly. Probably shouldn't have said that, so people bid more money. This is the only one available, but you're listening to this in the future. If you're listening to this in the future or watching this in the future, there's another one, okay? But if you're watching and listening now live, then there's only this one. So go and bid on this one. When that has gone, which we have 12 minutes, because it's a live show today, this week, something special, 12 minutes and 50-something seconds. Oh, it's less than that now, of course. I'm not going to count them down. That would be silly. But we're on 60 quid, which is 70 euros, which is brilliant. But we can do more. I wonder who's at 60 pounds. Is that why you got upset? Did you get outbid? Because I think Dan had a bid in.
Yeah, I did. Well, I at least I tried to get a high bid, but no chance. So, come on, guys, do it.
That Ibanez money.
Ibanez money, yeah. So we're episode 57, 57. So we already surpassed that amount of money. So 57 pounds was
that would
like the minimum, like the reserve.
Oh, I like that. Valerian wants to know if it comes with a hoodie.
No, but there's the update to the story. Actually, Valeria told me she has a post box in, I think, in Miami. So she gave me the address, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the hoodie there. So
Valeria has a post box in my. Get you, Valeria. I want a
I
post
don't know
box in Valeria.
how does she things. You know, she travels to Ola's music camp and has a post box in Miami, and she's playing tennis with Babolat Records, which is also my preferred brand. This woman is full of wonders and stuff. It's just, yeah,
Kind of want to be
mysterious
Valeria this
girl.
week.
Yeah. maybe we got to do an episode with Valeria and Amanda.
I love that, but only when she
Moderator
gets a hoodie.
feature. Yeah.
Only when the hoodie is available. Let's say hello to Ra, to Alan M Guitar Corner in the chat, to Serang, of course, to Christopher Lewis, to Valeria, to RaxFX, to Elf, to Fretlook. Hi, Raphael. To Jan, to Ian Johnston, to Michael Lerner, and Fergie in France, Andy Volume Low. I like that. The least amount of words possible to give Andy Volume Low.
Vol. You could have posted Vol. Andy Vol Low.
Andy Volume Too High. I really want to.
Archie Smudge is there as well.
Yeah. Archie Smudge. Hello, Archie Smudge. Hope you're doing well with your Bluetooth speaker thing that we were talking about earlier before the show. Okay. Yeah. We'll catch up on that in a few minutes, the eBay stuff. The way I'm going to do that is by asking Siri to count down 8 minutes. Hey, Siri, count down 8 minutes.
8 minutes. Counting down.
Cheers, love. Right. Let's go to some gear, I think. I feel like I should do my pick of the week first, Dan. What do you think?
All right. If we just skip the news, then we do the pick of the week.
Oh, yeah. Probably we should do the news first. So I'm so excited. As I mentioned earlier, I'm excited. Apparently there's some news. Something about, I don't know, this bloke. What's that bloke doing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Dave Mustaine. And Megadeth, they have released a cryptocurrency. I think it's called the dollar mega, like the dollar sign, and then mega. And how cool would it have been if they've turned it around and it would be the mega dollar? Right?
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know.
Dollar I don't know. Although it sounds like something from Idiocracy, like in the future.
Well, it actually sounds something that Trump could come up with. So we have the dollar, but now we have the mega dollar. It's betterer. But I don't want to go into politics. Let's just say chapeau to Megadeth for being so business savvy and kind of jumping on the cryptocurrency and NFT train. I think they've already released a couple months ago some sort of NFT, so kind of non-fundable token, some sort of artsy kind of thing that you could purchase. I think they got like 16 grand for that. It was like an insane amount. I don't recall. Yeah, but seeing a band actually launch a cryptocurrency and offer some sort of like tiers. So if you're part of their realm of people that buy that cryptocurrency, you get access to exclusives and premiums and blah blah, a lot of stuff. And so,
is it so Dave Mustaine can buy more picks for his pick stand? Because he's only got
very likely. Yeah. And the Cyber Army is kind of funding their own band. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll never know. Maybe that's the next big hype. If maybe Dave needs to text Elon Musk to kind of post something on Twitter.
Do it, Dave.
Yeah, the mega dollar. Yeah. So is that something you are like you have ever considered investing in? So
something I do not pretend to
NFT?
understand. I don't understand it. It's like many things in life. I know a dangerously small amount that makes me think I know more than I do. So, I'm going to leave it well alone. However, I hope at some point to have enough funds with which to invest. And if I were to invest in something, it would be the dollar mega, I believe.
Really? I don't know. I probably
just a little bit. I mean, what's the cheapest one? How much have I got to put in? What are we talking? 10 euros?
I don't know. Yeah, you can probably buy something for that.
I'll take 10 euros worth of dollar mega, please. Cha-ching. I haven't got a cha-ching noise. I have got this, though.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
That's a classic. Yeah, we should do that on a weekly basis.
I'm actually thinking about deleting it so that I don't press it every 5 seconds. I'm going to get rid of it. It's gone. Okay, just so I don't press it because the temptation
Bye,
is
llama.
too much. I'm too excited.
Bye,
Sorry, guys.
Bye, llama.
Yeah. So that was that part of the news. We've got another bit of news, Dan, I believe.
Right.
This made me giggle a lot.
That's David Lee Roth. Yeah.
And the Frankenstrat artwork story.
All right,
Dan.
Can you outline a little bit what this was all about? Because I just super briefly, read through it.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be brief for me as well because I found it so funny that I couldn't possibly go into detail. Anyway, Dave Lee Roth from Van Halen said that it was his idea of the very famous, infamous artwork with the stripes on the Frankenstrat, on Frankie. And he suggested, and he brought rolls of tape and stuff to Eddie Van Halen and said, stick that on there so that your guitar looks less like Jimi Hendrix's guitar. What do you think of that, Dan?
That's a bold statement. I think the quintessential finding of the article is that some sort of that type that he claims to have provided to Van Halen wasn't even invented before the late 80s, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, there was actually. I'm taking a quote. Van Halen's Frankenstein guitar did not appear until February 1997.
Okay.
There's no way he could have used. Yeah, it's. I don't. It's just so weird. Like, I can't find the bit that I thought was funny. I'm looking for it desperately because I wasn't aware that I'd have to talk about it.
No worries, it's all good. I think the main point was basically that Ruff wanted to pitch his paintings because he's also a hobby painter, and that was pretty much in the likes of all the pinstripes and all that stuff. So he probably came up with stuff like that.
I think someone or a group of people pointed out that it looked a lot like the Frankenstrat, and he said, "Well, yeah, that's because it's my work." And then he went off on one. He actually said, "My work." That's a quote.
Wow.
It's just weird that he waited until now to claim that. Now that there's no possible way that Eddie could put his part on that.
Yeah, I wonder what Wolf Van Halen would say to that, because I'm pretty sure he got told a lot of stories from his dad. By the way, he's been nominated for the Grammy. Congrats to Wolf. Great music.
Wow.
I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Hey, absolutely good music. Oh, that's good. More guitar in Grammys, please.
Also, Mark Legere, one of our guests, has been nominated for the Grammy. His baritone.
All of our guests should have Grammys. All of them.
So does it mean, is that like a consequence when you're guests at the podcast, you ultimately will win a Grammy?
Yes. Henning's having one next year, I believe. Nicole Minnick deserves a couple.
Yeah. For you mean Henning for his work with Sebastian Bach?
Yeah, sure.
I had to.
Is Henning in the chat? Henning doesn't seem to be here.
No.
But anyway, I don't want to talk about Dave Lee Roth anymore.
Okay.
Because there's 57 seconds left on the auction. So let's just mention our guest very quickly tonight, because I don't want to go to the picks of the week before the auction ends. Our guest tonight is Mr. Joe Fenton, and he's an artist. Dan, you know more about Joe than I do, but I know that he's painted some guitars for PRS and Mark Tremonti.
Yeah, he did a one-off for Tremonti a couple of years ago, and just recently finished 20 pieces of art for a 20th anniversary collection. Yeah, and Joe is a UK, like a British guy who's now residing in LA, and he's a renowned surrealistic artist. And it's super cool to have him on the show to kind of discuss how everything came about, and what his art is, and just get his perspective, because a lot of, especially about this new production run of guitars, a lot has been told from the PRS perspective and also from Tremonti's perspective, but to actually talk to the artist that painted those 20 guitars, that would be pretty interesting. And Siri says, let's go to the auction.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to speak to Joe, because I don't speak to artists very often. and I also can't even hold a pen, so it's exciting for me to talk to someone who can actually do something.
Yeah.
Right, hang on.
All right.
Where's the auction? There it is. Right, clicking buttons. No technical issues yet. We're still on £60. People are waiting. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the auction. So let's go to the chat. Who is in the chat that I think has a lot of money? Well, Valeria's got a mailbox in Miami, so she's probably rolling in cash. Yeah, lurking. No one's in there. I mean, I'm happy with £60. It would just be a shame for me and Dan to be live right now and for it just to stay on 60. Wouldn't that be a shame, everybody? 41, 62! £62.
There you go.
It's gone up to £62. Hang on. That only lasts a couple of seconds. I have to press that a few times. The suspense. Imagine if someone's driving. If you're driving, calm down, okay? If you're driving, listening to this, be careful. Be careful.
Yeah, don't bid if you're driving.
10 seconds. 6 seconds.
What's the final bid? 62?
The final bid is £62. That is a good amount of money raised for the Sands charity. From the heart of my bottom and the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for doing that. I will get that into the post to our winner, who is I don't know if I want to show that on the screen. I'll hang on. I'll put it back to there. We'll have a bit more Dave Lee Roth for a second. I'll just see who won that.
All right.
Uh,
Someone from the chat?
It's a username that begins with S. So, I don't know who that could be. I don't know. But the point is, thank you very, very much. And I will announce in a moment how to get the final Guitar Geek tree hanger. In fact, that moment is right now.
All right.
This is suggested by SJ. £62 is quite a lot of money, I believe. And there is a way to get one for £1 or €1. I'm sure you'd like to know how. I'm going to set up a Just Giving page where you can donate any amount of money you want, and then we raffle off one of the people that have donated. So if you bid €1 or €5 or €10, you get a certain amount of tickets. So €10 would get you 10 entries into the raffle, €1 would get you 1 entry, and so on and so on. So with your permission, Dan, I'd like to do that raffle next week on the show.
Yeah, please. So that means if you spend more money, you increase your chances of winning the tournament.
Correct.
But from a statistical standpoint, even with just what's the minimum bid? Like £1?
I'm not sure which currency it will be in. It might be in pounds or euros. But let's say $1 mega.
One mega dollar, okay.
Whatever the exchange rate is, yeah.
Great.
So thank you guys. It means a lot to me that you did that, and I'm excited to send that off to whoever it was. If you're in the chat right now, let me know. And Stephen O, I'm sorry, it is not real hair on the eBay auction. SJ did an amazing job of sourcing some kind of fiber that matches the stuff that grows out of my head.
Even the little tiny grey hair.
Even the little tiny grey ones. The ratio is pretty much spot on. Right, pick of the week.
Yeah.
Andy's pick of the week.
Dan and I almost had a fight this week over the picks of the week because apparently I picked all the stuff that he was going to pick, and I was aware of this, which is why I did it extra early and got in there sneaky early. Normally I'm super late doing the picks of the week. This week I thought I got to get those in, which brings us to our first pick. Justin Hawkins of The Darkness, one of my favorite musicians in the world. Yeah, he has changed. He's changed amp supply. He's got a new amp. And it's there's The Darkness there. If you're watching this on the video version, which I recommend you do, he's gone with Laney Dan, and he has the JH3000.
Super duper cool. Actually, what I like is he's using 4x12s, so like he's sticking to the old rock and roll. What is it like? How you call it? Like it's like the basic setup, right? That's like what everyone was playing back in the day, either Marshall 4x12s, Laney 4x12s, or boogies, and that's pretty sweet. And I think it's based on the Iron Heart, so a super intense 120 watts amplifier. I like the art. So if you're listening on the podcast, I highly recommend you to check out the Instagram of Laney or Justin because it's a super cool front panel, which has a little bit of a stylized Justin from the side who's holding up his Les Paul, and big letters.
Can you see his package? Can you see his little Justin? Like, is there an extra space? Like,
is there an extra?
There's an extra like little dot where it seems to poke out where little Justin would be, or his darkness.
You really think that was done on purpose? I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm seeing. Let me know in the chat if I'm just making things up. I don't love him that much, but I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I need to have a think about that one. But it is based on the Iron Heart. It is, however, not available to mere mortals like us, which is a damn shame.
It actually is. But it's built to order. So if you want to have one of these amps, you got to inquire at the Laney website and ask for details, and then they will build a certain amount. I don't know what the price tag currently is. I sent Laney a message and asked, but I didn't get a response so far. I was pretty late, to be honest. So yeah, but it's built to order. So the mere models can still purchase it. I just think it will be a little bit on the pricier side. Yeah.
Well, it's a 3-channel amp, ECC 83s and a pair of 6L6s. You've got 3 channels, clean rhythm and lead, FX loop, digital reverb, and a dynamics control. He doesn't use pedals, which surprises me. But then again, with his stage show, with the radio unit and being carried around on his roadie's shoulders, don't know if he still does that, but when he did that when I saw him, how are you going to press pedals when you're being paraded around the room on the shoulders of a very large man? You can't.
Yeah.
So we mentioned we might get him on the show. It might actually happen. It might actually happen.
Did you make any progress with that regard?
Yes, I wrote a little letter and put it under the tree. Let's just say yes. It went further in a positive way. Questions were asked.
Cool.
Answers were given.
That sounds like
I
a
hope
conversation.
so, man. Hope so. Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
cool.
he was the reason I found out about things like the power break from Marshall when he was using Marshall amps before he went to Mesas. I learned a lot from him, and really, I'm not sure if I would still be into guitar if the darkness hadn't. I think I might have not gone off it, but I think it might have gone out of my life, and the darkness brought it back in. I don't know. What would have happened with the darkness in my life?
I don't know, but it's just a very nice image to think about, that the darkness brought light in your life.
Yeah. Thanks.
And Permission to Land is such a great album. That's one of the top 10 albums of my life. Like, can't believe I Believe in a Thing Called Love is just like one of those hymns. It's just, it's a great song. It's a great album. Yeah. So we need him. We need him on the show. We got to do that.
Him. Think good thoughts, everybody. Think and at him on Instagram or something like that. Or go to his new YouTube channel and say, have you heard of the Guitar Stories podcast? It's amazing. You should be on it. Right, my second pick of the week is this. Onto another guitar player, Tom Morello, another kind of hero of mine. The Power 50 from MXR, which is Tom Morello's tone in a pedal. I think it looks amazing. It looks amazing. So Tom Morello, this is a JCM 800 2205 head and a PV 4x12 cab. It's got an effects loop in it, apparently. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see it. It was behind my camera. Yeah, so you can do all the stuff that Tom Morello does with post-distortion. There's a quote here. It doesn't say who the quote's from, but it says, if you want to have the sound that has been on those records, you don't need to find an amp and speaker cabinet from 1988. You can get that sound with the Power 50 overdrive no matter what your setup is. Doesn't say who that quote's from. Just Put it in quotation marks. And it's listing for $189, so $190. Let's say just under $200, regardless of where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that's about $4 megadollars.
So did we just switch from Jeffs to Mega Dollars?
It's under half a Jeff. I'm not switching
right.
from Jeffs. I refuse.
All right. Okay.
Okay. It's a strange politics kind of pedal, really, or a politics move from Rage Against the Machine, who I think back in the day, had someone said Rage Against the Machine they're going to release like a Fender signature, or Tom Morello, sorry, a Fender signature guitar or several, and a pedal. I'm not sure if back in the day Tom Morello would have agreed with present Tom Morello for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
a bad
absolutely.
idea. It's a weird move.
You mean like that he's now kind of being the business Tom and no longer the renegade?
Yeah, and he did the masterclass as well. I'm all for it. I like the sound. I want to be able to play it, but it's just I wonder what back in the day Tom would say.
Mm. I mean, he played with Bruce Springsteen, so he probably went through some sort of transition as a musician too.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, there's a big fan base, and they are requesting his tone, and they want to play his instruments. So, yeah. And wasn't he one of the guys who was putting pedals in the effects loop, like tube screamers and stuff like that? I think he's also one of those guys who kind of bypassed.
He had a very basic pedal board.
Stage. Yeah.
I saw it was on show somewhere. I saw it, and I remember it had a DoD EQ pedal, and I was hovering over the EQ pedal on eBay for ages over the buy it now. I thought, what are you doing, idiot? Yeah.
All right.
Sarang says that his Rage Against the Machine beliefs are mostly an aesthetic now. Maybe could be. I mean, people have the space to grow, or they should be. I remember, Dan. There was a time when I wasn't a tree ornament. There was a time when I said I'm not ever going to be available as a tree ornament, and then now I am.
Yeah. You played the London Eye. There's
Played
tree
the London
ornaments
Eye.
with your face on it. What's next? I mean,
I want to be in a Kinder Egg.
is someone on a Kinder Egg? There's nobody on a Kinder Egg.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
in
Kinder
I
chocolate.
want to be. Yeah, but I could be a toy. I don't know where that came from. It just, it did. It came in. We have a guest in the green room, by the way. He's not on screen yet, but he will be joining us on screen very soon as we've done our picks. I'm glad the technology is working this week. Let's go on to my third and final pick of the week, which is this, a Supro amp.
Sweet.
A very clean Supro amp. It's the Royale. It's a 1x12 combo. Apparently the first loud, clean amp in the brand's product lineup. So it's a wonderful pedal platform, according to all the people that reported this. The Royale is a 12AT7, so it's a very clean preamp, and 12DW7 for the effects loop and the reverb tank. It's got a Supro's own BD12 speaker in there. It's $1,499 retail.
All right.
Well, seems a lot of money, but I think it looks cool. I like this. I like Supro amps, and I'm into the looks this week, by the way. I don't need another pedal platform amp, but that looks cool, and at 50 watts, it should do the job it's designed to do. 3-band EQ, level and dwell controls for the reverb.
Sweet.
I'd like to see a review on that. I don't think I'll be getting that on the channel, but I'd like to. But I'd certainly like to watch some videos of that to see some people put some fuzz through it. Dirty
Question.
Up that Supro. Yeah.
What differentiates Supro from other manufacturers? What's their USP in the market?
Personally, I see them as it's a brand that was bought again, a brand name, but it's kind of quirky. There's the Led Zeppelin Jimmy Page thing that they lean into heavily. I don't know. I think there was a time when I thought they were going to go huge, and and this is just my opinion, but they kind of missed this wave that was growing. I thought it was going to get
Oh, yeah.
super big.
Massive. Yeah.
And when I was at Tolman, I was seeing them everywhere, and I was expecting this to really hit hard, and it never did. And then I was seeing them on sale. So I don't know. I really, really don't know.
It's one of those brands where you, like you just said, where you thought they'd kind of, break through and kind of dominate everything. And then all of a sudden they just, went nowhere, and you couldn't find them. And then you see occasionally a couple new products, but it's not super, in the media and everything. It's maybe similar to Victory amps, Kraken or Kraken, or how you call it, those kind of amps. They were all everywhere, and now it's rather calm. I don't know. Is the reason the production issues and COVID, or is it just because people are gravitating more now towards Kempers and Engels and maybe even Marshalls or Laneys? I don't really know.
I have no idea.
It's
I
weird.
mean, Victory is an Andertons thing. There's a heavy link there.
Mm-hmm.
I know the distributor representative of Europe for Supro and Harmony guitars and that area. I don't know. I'd love to know if someone does know. Let us know. I'm intrigued. It's a brand that I'm curious about. I feel, as we said, that looks like a TV. I've just noticed.
Yeah,
I know they did some stuff. They did some stuff that was supposed to look like a TV, and now this does actually look.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Dan, my home cinema thing arrived. It arrived like 20 minutes before we went live, which is why I was a little bit late.
All right. So you need to set it up tonight or tomorrow?
I've set it up. I've watched Pepe Pig. It sounded fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, God. Joe, if you're listening, this is always like this, just so you know. Pepe Pig is not the official sponsor. Okay, that's my third pick. It is time for Dr. Dan's pick of the week. Then we will get to our wonderful guest of the week.
All right. Little disclaimer, because Andy stole my picks. Those are a little bit lackluster, but they
You
are
snooze,
still.
you lose.
I know, but they are still pretty cool. And actually, this is a guitar that Jamie Humphries pointed my attention to. It's one of the Ball Family Reserve special editions in super limited quantities. It's called the Double Trouble. And this is basically a Ernie Ball Music Man Axis with a super cool quilt maple top. And if Andy rolls us through a couple of images, you will see that it's not only gorgeous on top, but it's also gorgeous on the back. It's got a double cream binding. It's got quilt maple top and back on a basswood body, so rather on the lightweight and rock and roll side. I'm not sure if it's got a roasted maple neck, but of course it's got a typical Music Man bird's eye maple neck, super comfy, asymmetrical profile. And this is the guitar that basically Van Halen designed, and when he left Music Man, they kind of slightly modified it to become the Axis when they put I think the switch in different position. Apart from that, it's got the Music Man humbuckers, Music Man double locking tremolo. It's got a detuner, if I'm not mistaken, so you can immediately drop the tuning to drop D, which is always pretty comfy. And I still wonder why only a few people or a few companies do it. And I think it's just a gorgeous looking guitar. Jamie is absolutely right when he pointed out that this is a wonderful instrument. And I think he is actually receiving this very guitar that we see here on the images, if I'm not mistaken. I think I read that they are sending him this guitar.
I don't know. But yeah, I don't think people deserve stuff like this, but he does deserve that. He's represented Ernie Ball Music Man for quite a few years. And if you want someone to show that guitar off, Jamie Humphries is the man to do it. That's for sure. That's a good pick, Dan. I like it very much.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I'll go into my other things in a moment. Do you want to do your second pick?
Yeah, second pick. Andy, what is that? It's a red guitar. I didn't say Ibanez, but it's a red Ibanez guitar. Yep.
Go on then. Get on with it.
it's just it's not a production model, but since I was in need of picking something, I picked like the coolest guitar that I saw this week, and this is a modified RG2027 XL. So it's got a 27-inch scale, and this has been built by the LA Custom Shop for artist Jesse Cash. And what I find so cool is that it looks very Christmassy. So it's like a holiday season instrument with the golden Evertune hardware and the Fiesta red finish and the pearloid, scratch plate and everything. It kind of just reminded me. It looks like a gigantic Christmas ornament that could go super well next to the Phronement, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine just like
Yeah.
a Christmas tree in the background. It's super Christmassy. So
if Santa played a guitar, that would
Santa's
certainly
guitar.
be it.
There you go. Yeah. So I was just taking the look, and actually with the white binding and the Fiesta red finish, that looks super cool. And since there are very few baritone guitars with an Evertune bridge on them, this was definitely one instrument to point out. Jesse, well done. That's a real firecracker.
I love it. I'm people probably won't be surprised. I love it. I tell you what, Dan, if that had a black scratch plate, oh.
Oh, that's Santa 7-string SSS.
Santa 7. Yeah, careful. For some reason, the program we're using doesn't let me overlay the comments. So you guys are leaving us some lovely comments, and I can't put them on the screen because it's not working. I have no idea why, but I am seeing them, and I will read them out. So, let's buy, borrow, or burn, and bring our guest in, shall we?
Yes, please.
Buy, borrow, or burn. Buy, borrow, or burn. We have 5 pieces of gear this week. We have the Justin Hawkins JH3000. We have the Power 50 MXR Tom Morello pedal. We have the Supro amp. We have the Ernie Ball Music Man. And we have the Ibanez with some numbers that's from numbers 27 something. 27.
XL.
There's another 7. And yeah.
No,
I'll get there one day. Get there one day.
Actually, when Henning was here, he received proper training on what the SKU numbers mean, and I think some of that knowledge went into the videos. Yeah, he did. He did. He did.
Doesn't happen.
He did.
Didn't happen.
No, he did. No, anyways, your pick. Let me make an educated guess.
Go on, go for
the
it.
7-string, not your pick. I think the Justin Hawkins amp. You're a rock and roll guy. You love Justin. I think this would be your buy if it would be available. You would probably borrow the Tom Morello just to fiddle around a little bit with the pedal and figure out what the effects loop and all that stuff would do. And you would burn the 2027 XL because it's not your cup of tea. How's that?
Close. Very close.
All right. Fill me in.
Firstly, I love that Ibanez. I would definitely not burn it. I love it. I even liked it on Facebook, and that's official now. When you click that thumbs up button, that makes it official. I would burn the Ernie Ball. That's the one I don't connect with at all.
Wow.
I'd hate myself for doing it because it's gorgeous, but I don't like quilted tops, and it's the one I'd look ridiculous playing that.
Wait, I'm just receiving a message. Jamie Humphreys unfriended Andy. All right.
Fine. I would like to combine the Justin Hawkins amp and the Tom Morello pedal.
Ooh.
So therefore, that has to be, I have to borrow one of those and, buy the other one. So yeah, you basically got 2 out of 3. I don't know which way
What song would you play on that combination? Killing in the Name of Love?
Yes.
God, that was a good one. That was an excellent
one. Gracious me. Let's go to the chat. RJW14 would buy the JH3000, borrow the Tom Morello pedal, and burn the rest. Nissan 570 LSX is off. Sarang would buy the heck out of the RG, borrow the Supro, and burn the Tom Morello pedal. Okay. Because he wants to rage against that particular machine. Artie Smudge would buy the Axis, borrow the Ibanez's, and burn the Laney. Oh, I get it. There's a reason. Artie Smudge shares the same surname as Justin Hawkins. I get it, right. Okay. Pooh Ninja, hey Pooh, would buy the red Ibanai, borrow the JH3000, burn the Supro, and use his ninja skills to intercept the Axis on its way to Jamie. Valeria would buy the Firecracker, borrow Jamie's Music Man, and burn the 70s TV. Alan M. Guitar Corner would buy the Tom Morello pedal, borrow the Music Man Axis, and burn the Laney. Dave Lewis doesn't like the festive Ibanez Scrooge guitar. I like that. That's my favorite comment out of the lot of them. Well, that was quite a good week in gear. One thing that Ibanez doesn't have, Dan, is hand painted art.
That is right.
Little segue here. Pretend I'm doing this smoothly. It doesn't have hand painted art, which means that our next guest would certainly not be responsible for it, because he is responsible for some hand-painted PRS guitars.
Beautiful seg.
Thans very much.
Beautiful
Seamless,
segue.
wasn't it? Seamless.
Beautiful segue.
Thanks very much. That's my little segue to hope that Joe is ready, and we're going to bring him into the chat in just a second. I'm just assigning him to the right thing. There we go. Here we go. It worked. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hi. Am I with you?
You are. Loud
How's it
and
going,
clear.
guys?
Great.
I'm very well. How are
Good
you?
to be here. I'm good. Can you? So, Andy told me to wear headphones because it doesn't pick up any crap or whatever. But you can hear me. You can hear me all right, yeah?
Yeah,
Wonderful.
everything's fine. You are synced. You are. You've got a very interesting mask behind you, like you've been.
No,
to
this
Venice.
is my real face. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I actually.
This is going to go well.
So no, but on a serious note, I want to talk about Peppa Pig because I absolutely love Peppa Pig. Yeah, I watched hours and hours of Peppa Pig with my niece when she was little, and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm seeing episodes now that I haven't seen. Like we did the rotation because we I don't want to spread too much rumor that I'm rich, but I have Netflix and I pay for it on a monthly basis. And there was a long time where Netflix just showed the same Peppa Pig, but recently it's updated to new seasons. So I'm genuinely excited to sit down and watch of an evening the Peppa Pig series. It's pretty good.
Well, they got like over 10 seasons, haven't they? Or more now, probably. They got loads. Yeah.
Even more.
I mean,
And
we could
just
talk about this for hours, but it's
This
up to you
important
guys.
stuff.
Maybe it's not what people want to hear. I don't know.
Can I just get it out there, as we're on the subject, that I feel very sorry for Daddy Pig with his big tummy, and I think
Who does
should
the
give
voice
Daddy Pig
for
a
that
break.
guy? Because it sounds like Brian Blessed. You know the actor Brian Blessed?
Brian Blessed. Yes,
Yeah,
from
but it's
Flash
not, is
Gordon.
it? It's not. Or is it? It's not.
If
I
it
don't
is,
think
he
so,
must
no.
be. Hang on,
Yeah.
Dad. Well,
We need to find
Dan
out.
will be listening. Daddy Pig voice. Hang on, we'll let Valeria in the chat sort it out. Valeria with the Miami mailbox. It's Richard Ridings, who the name probably
Ridings.
doesn't mean much to you, but if you were to Google Richard Ridings, you'd say, "Oh, that bloke."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I recommend you do. What is Richard? I'm looking at this guy's face and I'm thinking, what's he been in? And he's been in lots of sort of British things that, sort of. I don't want to say background actor, but supporting actor. That's the word. Oh, IMDb is down. Oh, that means all my attempts at being knowledgeable are gone for this evening. Then.
Well, I just tried to Google his name and I just got maps for some reason, so I'm going to give up. Anyway.
Where is Richard Riding? So, Joe, welcome to the Guitar Stories podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. And as
Thanks
we've
for
covered the
having
main topic, we can move over to other less important stuff now.
Yeah.
I was surprised that you were a fellow Brit. So, where are you from,
Yeah.
if I may ask?
Well, England, obviously, originally, but I've lived sort of on and off in America for the past sort of 15, 16 years. Because my wife's American, although we met in London years ago. We've been together like 27 years. So lived in New York, went back to England, and then we moved to LA about six years ago. Yeah.
We've got a list of questions. Sorry.
Originally from Battersea. So Battersea.
From Battersea.
Clapham.
Clapham.
Yeah. Where are you guys? Well, you're in Berlin, right, Andy? I mean, Dan.
No, I'm in close to Nuremberg, actually. I'm in Ibanez
right,
headquarter.
okay.
Ibanez Germany headquarter here in close to Nuremberg.
Fantastic. And
I'm in Upper Austria, so I'm from the UK, but also not in the UK. Right
are you not seriously? You're in Austria as well.
Yeah.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah, it looks. I can see the snowy mountain caps behind you.
It's one of those Austrian Fender Telecasters.
I love Austria. I travelled across Austria. I love it. Yeah.
I love it very much. It's a beautiful, beautiful country with some very interesting politics at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're on like a lockdown or something, right?
Apparently, I mean, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so.
Yeah.
They're replacing their chancellor every other week, so basically every Austrian will be in chancellor by the end of 2025. So
then they have the imports. So I'll be chancellor in about 2026. I've got some amazing plans. Guitar playing will be mandatory.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, mandatory guitar playing.
I keep my eyes open.
Free guitar lessons for all pupils. That's right.
It won't be free if I'm teaching.
Full disclosure, guys, I know absolutely nothing about guitars, guitar playing, or guitar paraphernalia, which makes me perfect guest for your show, really, doesn't it?
So, Mrs.
We're
Rabbit.
No, we're talking Guitar Stories podcast, and I think the story behind the Tremonti guitars is the most interesting part. It's not necessarily the guitar, because that hasn't been changed big time since like 20 years, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you say that, you don't play, you don't pretend to play like I do? You don't?
No, I wish. I tried when I was at school. I had a few guitar lessons because I wanted girls to fancy me and I wanted to be cool, and stuff. I must have been about 12, and I didn't learn quick enough, and I thought this is way too much hard work, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. So I picked up a paintbrush, and that kind of worked out. But
yeah. You got married. Congratulations.
I got married. I found somebody, exactly. There was someone stupid enough out there to marry me. Yep.
I did the same thing, but just persevered with the guitar, and yeah.
So you both pay on a sort of as like a hobby, or do you pay in bands, or?
Yeah, like not like professionally, because obviously Andy's a YouTuber, full-time YouTuber, and a amateur or hobbyist. Amateur always sounds so bad. Hobbyist player, and same for me. I work.
Oh right.
Yeah, amateur's a bit of an insult, actually, isn't it?
Geez.
That's what I'm sorry. I take that back. So I said like hobbyist and enthusiast. Is that okay? I'm sorry. No, Andy's a beautiful musician.
Poor Andy.
I'm a hack with a loud amplifier.
Yeah.
I think to sum me up, I just love guitar, Joe. I love guitar, and any opportunity I get to do something related to guitar makes me happy. That kind of sums me up.
Which is great.
And Dan is an amateur. There we go. Full stop. Dan's an amateur friend.
Well, I really hope this podcast's successful for you guys, because it sounds like you need it. Yeah.
Well, we may be launching the spin-off Pepe Pig podcast in a few weeks' time.
Exactly.
You could say we're amateur podcasters, right?
Yeah. Okay. We don't get paid, so yeah.
I was about to say, apologies for my crappy camera, but I think I get the bronze medal. Dan, you definitely get the silver, and Andy, you get the gold. crystal clear. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't want to show off, but with Netflix, I also bought an internet subscription as well. So I got some good stuff. Stop it! I can sense that we can very quickly be silly together, and that's too tempting for me to go far down that road.
Yep. Come on.
You're the first guest ever where Dan and I have actually planned some questions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So apologies to everybody else, but we actually got together and wrote some questions down almost professionally, as if we're not amateurs. So I'm quite proud of us.
I think the problem here is that we were a little bit scared because Joe is like a real artist and not, just a musician that we, have a closer relationship because of our jobs too. So it's more like, it's like a different universe basically. So we're kind of, what kind of guy will Joe be? What, how there was some sort of uncertainty from our side. So it kind of felt, to me, it felt more safe to kind of come up with a couple questions so that we can have some sort of structure to go through the talk, because I was super excited to have you on the show.
Sorry, I was about to say, otherwise we could just end up talking about Pepe Pig for an hour, which...
There you go, yeah.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
And we had the Tremonti guitars on the show, like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and in unison we were, the opinion that this is just a great piece of art, and we desperately wanted to know more about that. So
I have to stop you there, Dan. Yeah. Sorry, I have to stop you there, and I have to confess to Joe, because otherwise somehow you'll find out. When I first saw these guitars, I didn't like them. And
it's totally subjective, and I completely get that. So don't worry, honestly, I get it.
No, it turns a corner.
Oh, good.
And now I do. No, they grew on me. I saw them and I thought, wow, the artwork was clearly beautiful, but the combination of the guitar and the artwork, I thought, I was confused by it. My guitar-loving brain and heart was confused as to what I thought. However, I did know that a friend of mine would contact me almost instantly because I knew he would fall in love with this design. And he did within about 2 hours of me seeing the pictures and asking me loads of questions about it. And he should be watching right now. So hello to Benji, who Dan knows. He's a masseuse, and he's given us both massages in the past. Yeah, independently, of course. But the good news is that your art made me think, and I guess that's what art is just to evoke an emotion and a response. I do actually feel a connection with the guitars now, and I didn't, and that doesn't often happen with me. Like with the guitar we talked about earlier, the Ernie Ball Music Man, I know instantly that I don't like that very much. However, I turned around on yours, and I want to know how you came into this arrangement with Mark Tremonti and PRS, and how did it happen? Because if you're not a guitar player, did he reach out to you?
Yeah. I was living in London, so I think it was 2014, and I got an email in my inbox, and it was from a Mark Tremonti, and I hadn't heard of him because I'm not actually into rock music. I don't really listen to rock music. I love Radiohead, James Blake. I listen to a lot of electronic music, classical music. So maybe if I had, it would be more on my radar. But then he, such a lovely guy, Mark. One of the nicest guys. He really is. And he just said he was a touring artist, and he was looking online, and he came across my artwork. And he was looking for an artist to do a custom guitar. And so he was touring, I think it was they're doing the UK tour at the time of Alter Bridge. And he was doing a show at Wembley, and I met him after the show backstage. And we kind of looked over the guitar, and he was kind of showing me, just showing me the guitar, because I don't think I'd ever seen a PRS guitar. And we just discussed the kind of design, direction that we could go in, and came up with something. And then I went ahead and did it. I was quite sort of like freaked out because PRS sent me this like bare wood guitar, this beautiful instrument, right? And I thought, I'm going to F it up. It's a beautiful thing. And they want me to put artwork all over it? Why? going back to your point, Andy, they're such beautiful instruments. Sometimes it's kind of, I can understand why people, the combination of aesthetics. It's like, if you're into that kind of thing, it's thumbs up all the way, but other people could think, why destroy a beautiful guitar with putting that kind of artwork on it? So I can see it from both sides. But anyway, back to your question. So yeah, they sent me the guitar, and then I spent a few weeks doing it and sent it back, and he was really happy with it.
And as an artist, were you kind of reluctant to put your art on a musical instrument, or was it something where you immediately felt, okay, I like the guy, and I like the guitar as an as an art form as well, and that would be a good fit? Because usually you do other things like big paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is just the nature of my work and the look and style of it. It kind of fits into the rock world a bit, you know what I mean? So it's a kind of good marrying of things. So I felt like, yeah, my artwork could belong on a guitar. Plus, it's always I had never done it before, so I was a bit kind of like, shit, can I do this? And then having to paint every bit of the guitar, it was quite a challenge. But I'm really happy I did it. And then obviously, sorry, Andy, yeah?
No, you said they sent you a bare wood guitar, so there was no finish at all, and you covered the whole thing?
So I had to mask it all off, and then I had to spray it with like an undercoat, and then trace the drawing and paint the guitar. So I was a bit it was a bit scary.
And with the design,
aren't they? I mean,
yeah, but did Mark and did you agree on a design first, or were you given free rein, or how did it come to be Mark's guitar?
Well, I mean, it wasn't a PRS commission, right? It was Mark commissioned me. It was a private commission for Mark. So PRS obviously just sent the guitar to me because Mark asked them to, but it was really just between me and Mark. We worked out the design. I just sent him a couple of ideas, and he was pretty much, thumbs up straight away. I mean, it was actually Mark's idea when we met, just to do like a heaven and hell, one on each side. Right. And then to do all the artwork up the back of the neck and stuff like that, and some artwork on the headstock. So, Mark was kind of, he obviously loved my stuff, and he just wanted it on a guitar. So, it worked out. It was pretty easy. It was great. Good experience.
So we had some technical difficulties. Dan, are you back?
Yep, I can hear you guys loud and clear.
Okay, cool.
Just like a drop in volume.
Yeah, I mean, I love that it seems to be very organic that your collaboration happened, because it can, of course, be arranged, but this seems like something an artist has reached out to another artist, and then in combination you have two different pieces of art. And did anything change with your art career when you made this guitar, and did other people come to you, or have you done any other guitars or anything else in that vein that wouldn't have happened before Mark Tremonti's guitar?
I mean, not really. I had people asking me to, would I do custom artwork for their guitar, commission me and stuff, but I didn't want to become the guitar artist guy, because I have my career. I do, commissions, doing large pieces of artwork and sculptures. I do all kinds of stuff. So I didn't, and I'm glad that I didn't actually. I mean, I might do one or two guitars if certain people ask me to do it and stuff, but I didn't. I just kept on doing what I do. Which is just my normal artwork, I mean, I used to work in the film industry and stuff beforehand, doing special effects and stuff like that. So that's what my background is, in sculpture, actually. So I do prop making and stuff like that.
Wow.
Before I entered I hate saying fine art career, because it sounds so pretentious, because I don't really think of myself as a fine artist. I'm just an artist. Categorize it any way you want, but I didn't study fine art at school, because I thought the fine artists had their heads up their asses. They're all very pretentious, and I couldn't quite understand it.
Did you study art at school? Was it something that I know you said when you were 12 you tried the guitar and you moved on to a paintbrush, but was it something you were educated in?
Yeah, I went to Wimbledon School of Art and I studied sculpture. Well, it was special effects for film and design and stuff. So I thought, if I'm going to make art, I want to make a living from doing it. So I thought I'd study something that was more specific to my interests, which was film. I love film, you know. It was a dream to work in it, which I did for a few years.
I hate to ask, but are there any films that we may have seen that has had your work as part of it?
Yeah, I worked, the first one I worked on was Terry Gilliam's Brothers Grimm, which actually wasn't the best of films, but I was in Prague living there for 7 or 8 months.
But fun, really fun film.
Really fun, yeah, it was. And it was an amazing experience. It usually is working on films because you're usually somewhere unique that you know, it's not your normal day-to-day thing. In this case, it was Prague and with a great bunch of people, so it was fun. And then after that, I did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which was good fun.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
No, you haven't. No, you didn't.
This is I don't know if you how well you know the film.
I'm quite a nerd, so yeah, pretty well.
Well, these are one of the flowers from the spaceship that I designed. If you remember, there was like
holy moly.
God, 1 second. I probably shouldn't have these props. I'll probably get into trouble. Yeah. And then these were, you didn't see them that much, but this was John Malkovich when he was, I've forgotten the nose place, whatever. These was one of the incense burners the priests had, which I designed.
Fantastic.
I'm trying to get in the middle here.
Fantastic.
Wow.
So yeah, that was really fun because I pretty much had free reign, sort of designing props and stuff for that. So it was really cool. It was good fun. Yeah.
We could do a full episode just talking about that. I'm pretty sure. It's amazing. Yeah.
That was a good film. I thought that was a great film, Hitchhikers.
Yeah, really. I'm sad they didn't do more in a series. Yeah, they should have done more, I think, and then we could have had more of your work. Well, then you'd be far too famous and important to talk to us. So, kind of glad they didn't.
No.
But I didn't know that you're a sculptor as well, which explains to me, or at least in my little pea brain, how your art seems so 3D. And in the same way that we talked about a guitar earlier that's quilted, and you can see a piece of wood that kind of looks like you can dive into it like in a swimming pool. Your art looks as if you can actually touch it and pick it up and move it around. And I guess I want to talk about the style of art that you do. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm monopolizing the conversation here completely.
All good. All good.
When did you develop that kind of sort of? Is it tritone? Is that what you call it? I did some work on researching that word.
You tell me. I don't know. Monochromatic, I suppose, if you're just using like one tone of color, right?
Okay.
But yeah, you can say tritone because there's different. Like with the red designs, there's like 3 or 4 different reds. So I'll go with tritone.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's some stuff you've done. I'm looking at the prints you've done on your website, and it's just gorgeous. I can really get into this.
Yeah, my stuff was mainly black and white for years because, I mean, that was one because I just loved the appeal of black and white drawings and imagery, right? And also I was terrified of using color. So I've slowly kind of become more confident using bits of color because my work's still not like really colorful, right? It's not like tons of different colors. It's monochromatic. But I'm evolving. I'm changing. I'm trying new things. So doing the guitars was really cool because it pushed me to use a bit of color.
Okay, well, we've got some pictures of the guitars. So, Dan, should we get them on screen?
Maybe we can get the original Fenton on the screen because that was basically like Joe already outlined, like a guitar with a motif of heaven and hell.
Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that's the hellish side, yeah.
And when did you kind of develop that surrealistic style that's also very like kind of fantasy inspired and has some medieval motives? Was that something that developed over time, or was that something that you already were interested in and you had from the very beginning kind of developed it from there?
It's not a conscious thing because it's just, I suppose, all my love of films and children's books, illustrations when I was a kid, all of it's gone in there, and it's just. I just chuck everything in there and mix it all up. It's like, folklore, religions, philosophies, all kind of different things. It all goes in there. It's like an alphabet soup. and then this is what comes out. There's no, it's just there's all kinds of inspirations.
There's a Beatles book that I have, a Beatles, I think it's the Essential Beatles music book with all the chord sheets and the songs, basically one, like a song per page. And it has some of the Beatles artwork in it. And that really does sit for me. I can't say it reminds me of your work, but certainly it calls up a memory. Yeah, this one. This eyeball, there's an eyeball on the Beatles book, and it's I don't know anything about art, so I'm stumbling over my words, but it brings back the same emotion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with that and stuff, but I know a lot of the Beatles stuff. It was there's a lot of surrealism in the artwork, right? It was pretty out there. It's like an acid trip. And I did do a lot of acid, I have to say, when I was younger. But I've been sober for over 20 years, because when I was younger I was pretty crazy. I didn't even do any art, so I'm glad I stopped all that stuff. All right. But yeah, that's so my biggest inspiration, LSD. There you go.
Great. Okay.
Sorry, there's an uncomfortable silence there. Like, okay, well.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering how I can get on the dark web so quickly. The comments section has just come back, so I can post comments on screen now so we can see them. So if anyone in the live chat has a question for Joe or something they'd like to tell him, you can post it now in the comment section. I can bring it on screen so we can all see it. Yeah. Okay, and Dan's audio is all back, I believe. That's great.
I'm just fine. I'm still admiring what he did, because I think what's so striking about Joe's design is that even without using a lot of colors, he, like you already said, Andy, he reaches a lot of 3D effects. So it's almost as if you could reach into the image. And to me, I mean, that looks just like a video game surrounding. That would be something where I would push my character into and kind of discover what is there, like a super cool world that has so many secrets to discover. Amazing. Yeah.
Well, so it's funny because I'd love to animate my worlds and my characters and stuff, and I think this is the closest I can get to it doing 2D illustrations. So I kind of want to go as deep as I can, and it almost feels animated even though it's not. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the use of there's layers. There's a foreground and the background, and it looks like you're moving through it, which it's phenomenal.
And I mean, the thing is, going back to because sculpture was my background, right? And when you're starting off to make a sculpture, you have to build like an armature, which is like a metal skeleton, which you put the clay on, and then you sculpt whatever it is you're sculpting, a figure or whatever. And I suppose I'd start with designs very much in the same way. I'll find probably the biggest design in the biggest character in the whole design, or biggest object, and then I just keep adding stuff and building upon it. So it's kind of, I feel like it's sculpture in a kind of way. Maybe one day I'll end up sculpting a guitar, but who knows? That'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Oh yeah,
Andy's like, ruin another guitar.
No, you'd be creating a guitar. There'd be one more guitar in the world. No, do it. Just make sure you get the right amount of strings on there. That's a thing that I.
They've got I've got here. I'll show you, because I'm doing Mark's guitar now. Actually, another one for him. It's because I think he was initially supposed to get. This is how they send it to me. So it's. Can you see?
Hang on, I'm going to put you.
This one's actually
solo. There you are.
Yeah, it's actually not sanded. This one, they usually sand it and stuff, but I just lightly sand that and paint on top of it. And it's black, obviously, because we chose the black for this one, and it's staying in the theme of the 20 that we did. But so I'm working out the design for that one at the moment.
How do you start with that? Like you receive a guitar, it's just got a primer, then you sand it down, and what kind of colors are you using to ensure that it stands the test of time, but it's also you reach some realism and a three-dimensional effect?
Well, they sent me. I'm lucky because the biggest pain, like from the first guitar, was just like the whole prepping of it, like having to paint it, sand it, put the primer on, all that kind of stuff. It's fiddly and takes a lot of time. And PRS kindly, they had them all prepped for me when they sent them to me, which still took me a long time to do them, but it saved a lot of time. So yeah, which is great. And obviously the 20 designs that I did, they were much more simple than the first one I did for Mark, simply because the amount of time it would have taken me to do 20 guitars like that, it's too much time.
Yeah, we have Jan in the chat. He's asked if we can look through the 20 designs, which we will do in a moment. Maybe you could talk us through them. But SJ would like to know what kind of paint you used or are using.
Just acrylic paint. So like Liquitex is the brand, but it's something that has good pigment in it and stuff. Like some of the cheaper paints, they don't have strong pigment colors, which is like the raw color. So yeah, just latex.
Great. We've got Nicola.
Nothing.
Nicola says, I think Joe is one of the best living artists and illustrator.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Nice. We have lovely people in our chat.
Only lovely nice ones, please.
Oh no, Joe is rubbish. Oh no.
Yeah, don't read any of those.
No,
Andy,
nobody wrote that.
Yeah, come on.
So Joe, after there was some sort of a period after you did the Fenton. The Fenton obviously was super well received, and a lot of people were hyped about the guitar. But it still took a couple of years to kind of revisit you as an artist for PRS. So when did the anniversary idea come about, and how did that develop?
That was Mark, who's just good support, been a great supporter of my work and loves my stuff, and he called me out of the blue, and that must have been it's so weird with the pandemic. Time's just become this weird thing. I kind of don't know when, last year or 2 years ago, but anyway, he called me and just said this 20th anniversary for his signature guitars coming up, and I'd love to do a design for it. So I was like, yeah, great, let's do it, fantastic. And then there was a few conversations, and then ended up talking to Paul Reed-Smith and Bev Fowler at PRS on a phone call, and they'd spoken to Mark, and they thought for the 20th anniversary it'd be good to do 20 guitars. So we ended up, and as Paul put it on the phone call, which still makes me laugh, he goes, look, you can do a squiggle, sign it with a Sharpie, and you're still going to get the same amount of money for each guitar. And I was like, if only that's what I did. So I didn't do that, and we did the 20 guitars actually, and it was a really fun project. So that was directly from PRS asking me to do that. Like the first time, it was just between me and Mark. So yeah.
And was it for you
awesome.
some request where you had a lot more respect, because all of a sudden we're not talking about just one instrument to be painted, but about 20?
Say that. So what? Say that again.
Sorry, was
Dan.
it for you? Was it more of a challenge, because all of a sudden you were not just facing one commission, one guitar? Now you had to come up with 20 different motives. Yeah,
it did. It took, because funnily enough, the longest time spent on each guitar is actually doing the design. For me, it's working out the design and then doing the application. It's it takes me however long, and I did speed up from beginning to end. The first ones took me a lot longer. By the end, I was like a well-oiled machine. So yeah, but I was like, shit, 20 guitars. It's a lot of work.
I would be. I'd get to 4 and think, I'll just do the same thing again and copy that twice. And anyway,
I know. Yeah.
Now would be a good time to take a look at them.
Yeah.
Sorry, mind you, what, Joe? Please.
No, I was just saying, imagine doing, if I could have done one design 20 times, but I think I would have shot myself in the head. I think that would just be painful, absolutely painful. Yeah.
So we don't have these in any particular order, I believe, but if there's any that jump out at you or anything you could maybe talk us through, it would be amazing.
Well, please.
Okay.
Sorry,
my question would be just the decision to have only black and gray and red as a color choice. Was that something you did consciously from the very beginning, or was it something that developed when you came up with the certain motifs for these guitars?
No, I started from the beginning, just thinking, okay, it's a black guitar, and I was thinking of the Tremonti brand aesthetic, right? There's a lot of kind of red designs and stuff like that. So I kind of felt that like it fit into his world. And so I just thought I'll do 10 red designs, then I'll do 10 sort of like black and white and sepia designs, because I thought they'd look good on the black guitar with the wooden, it's just, what do you call it, wooden rim around it.
The binding, natural binding.
What's it called? What do you call it?
I think it's a natural binding, right?
Yeah, the natural binding, exactly. So I thought those colours won't clash too much. So that's why I decided to go with those. And I do actually really like the red designs on the black. I just think that it's a cool colour. Yeah.
It's my favourite colour combination is red and black, and I originally saw the other colours, and then it was when I saw these, the red ones, that I started to consider if I could get a bank loan. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no, I remember because I was watching the show before I came onto it and stuff, and you were into the Santa Claus guitar, right? But then you said it would look really cool with a black, I don't even know the names of the things, but a black something or other on the guitor instead of the white.
Guard. The pick guard.
There you go. See, I'm being educated. Yeah.
Yeah, red and black is my thing. I don't know why, but it just, and also satin finishes as well. So I really like my satin look rather than shiny glossy. And these are they satin?
They are, and actually, initially when Mark and Bev Fowler at PRS, they decided to do the satin finish on it and stuff, because I loved the look of the first one, which I think had a gloss finish on it that I did for him years ago. And when they were going to go with the satin, good timing. When they went with the satin one, I was like, I hope that's going to look all right. But Mark, he went down to the PRS factory a week or two ago, and he actually saw the guitars physically, and he said they looked so cool just with the matte finish on them. He goes, the artwork almost doesn't look real. It's kind of
it adds to that dreaminess, that sort of, I don't know, like a fever dream, something I might see if I'd been very, very ill and trying to come back to the real world. I'm starting to manage to vocalize my feelings. That's good. I'm getting words. So moving on to the next one. There's a lot of subject matter to do with death and fear of death and the afterlife, and just stuff that goes on with me. I suppose it's just my way of processing it. There's a lot of death anxiety in my artwork. I wonder what people think. They don't ever expect me to be the person that does this artwork, because I think they probably expect me to be wearing a black cape covered in tattoos or something, But that's not me. I watch Pepe Pig. Exactly. Yeah, but it doesn't get much Black Deather than Pepe Pig. That's some pretty hardcore animation.
That's dark shit, that is. Yeah.
It really is. How does Miss Rabbit do all those jobs? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's the main question everyone is asking, right?
Yeah.
So this one is two hands holding flying eyeballs. Is the best description I can give that.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, you see a lot of eyeballs in my work. Windows to the soul. The all-seeing eye. It's across all my work. You see a lot of eyeballs. So I thought I had to get them in there somehow.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like when I've got no sort of like, I can't. Sometimes I find it really hard to articulate and talk about my work, because it's all about making it for me. And I feel the best way for me to express how I'm feeling is just through my artwork, rather than actually talking about it. It's always something that I've never been that comfortable with. I mean, to be honest, even doing this now, I never usually do stuff like this, because I'm quite a hermit and I'm sort of quite a private person, and I don't, it's something I usually avoid. But I'm really glad I did it, and I obviously checked you guys out. You look like really unpretentious, guys and stuff. So I thought, it looks like a good show to do. So I'm glad I'm doing it anyway.
Thank you. Then we're even more honoured than we were previously when you agreed. Yeah, it's. honestly, I didn't know who we were going to get. I didn't know what were going to happen. I mean, you look at these guitar designs, and as you said, it could be Black Cloak and single word answers. But clearly that's not who you are. But it kind of would have been fun, Well, what have you got now?
It's like what's the guy going to do now?
Yeah.
Should have answered it like this.
Whoa!
That's my brother's Barlinian mask he brought back. They're really cool, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. So if anyone's listening to this also goes out as an audio version of the podcast as well. But if anyone's listening, I really, really do urge you to go and watch the video version because we're seeing the art. It's an art object. We've got a question from Charlie Cooper from Orange Amps and a friend of ours. He says, Joe, sorry if I missed this, but how much creative input do you put into other aspects of the guitar? Are you making sure the pickups and the dials match the artwork design, for example? So the knobs and the pickups. So did you know they were going to be black and clear and gold? Did you know the aesthetic of the guitar before you decided on the designs?
It's funny enough, the first one I did for Mark, I asked them to send me all the pickups so I can match all the colors and stuff, and I asked them to send me different dials so that I could work out which ones look best with the color palette I was choosing and stuff. But with this one, I didn't know the pickups were going to be black, but it doesn't really change anything that much. And the guys at PRS, they're pretty good at all, when it comes to design, aesthetic and stuff. So they're they're works of art, these guitars. They really are. I know I've said it before, but they really are. They're beautiful things. So it's a real pleasure to actually, as an object to paint on. It's a really lovely thing to do. Yeah.
Is it difficult because of the curves and the bevels of the wood? Is it?
Not so much when you're just painting on the face of the guitar, but like when I did Mark's other one, when you're having to paint on the sides and stuff like that, that's kind of a bit, it feels like you're playing Twister, trying to get certain bits of the guitar and paint them and stuff. But like anything, you do it enough, you start finding easier ways of doing stuff.
Yeah. You even paint the back of the neck all the way up, right?
On the other one, yeah.
On the original Fenton, yeah.
On the original one, yeah. I mean, with Mark's one, I'm doing now because I'm doing something a little bit extra with it, so it stands out from the 20. So I'm doing a little design on the back as well, which relates to the image on the front. Great. Because every piece that I do, it does. There's always storytelling involved. It's not just about an image. I'm always trying to tell a story.
So with the heaven and hell thing, is that? Sorry, Dan.
No, all good.
How much time?
Yeah, how much time did you spend for these guitars? Like, was it like 20 hours, 50 hours? I don't know.
Well, I mean, they said they did a video thing, and they asked me, and I did say 100 hours, which would work out 2 weeks per guitar, which. Initially at the beginning, that's definitely how long it was taking me to do. And that's working out the design as well. But I did get quicker towards the end, much quicker. But it's because the detail's so fine, that's why it takes so long. I'm always surprised, actually, when the guitars turn up, how small they look. Because in my head, they're much bigger, but actually they're quite small, just the face of the guitar. Well, these ones, anyway, the PRS. I'm sure other brands, they vary in size, but so it's fiddly work, and I use really detailed small brushes, and then it's just built to get that 3D effect and stuff. Right, it takes time just to build up the layers, so it's time-consuming stuff. Because I know some people say, "How long does it take you?" It should have taken you 5 hours to do it. I'm like, I wish, but no, it doesn't. Take a lot longer.
Did you mess any up and have to sort of start again?
Yeah, no, I did. I actually did a whole design, which which was bugging me from the beginning. It was like when I was trying to just get all the 20 done, and it was kind of one of the last ones that I did. And I painted the whole thing, and then I made an executive decision at the end, just before I sent them off to PRS to come up with another design and redo it. So I sanded the whole thing, got rid of it, and painted over it. And by then I was ready to just work on some other projects. But I'm glad I did. There's nothing, if you guys know, there's nothing worse than having something you don't like out there. I've done that before. And this kind of goes back to the Pepe Pig thing quickly, because I'm a published children's book author, right? So I did a couple of illustrated books.
Awesome.
Yeah, one was called What's Under the Bed, and then the second one I did was called this book called Boo, right, which is a Halloween book. And the publishers got me to do it, and they, paid me money to do it, and I agreed to do it. And I was just like one of those things that I did, and I've always hated it. So yeah.
Oh no.
So I'll never do that again. If you're not happy with something, redo it.
Yeah.
But I am just looking at the artwork. It looks really good.
On what? On this guitar?
On Boo, the book. What's wrong with you? That's amazing.
Oh, what's this? I did that when I was in New York in like 2008 or something. This is before I started on my career of doing. This was in between film and doing what I do now. I had a few years doing children's books.
Sweet.
Wow.
So which goes back to the beginning of a discussion. Your inspirations, all of that stuff's in here. All of it. Yeah.
Cool. And it's got 5-star rating on Amazon.
A question from Christopher Lewis. When is Joe going to paint the Pepe Pig PRS?
Well, that all depends. That depends. I haven't started using pink yet, but I'm working towards it. I think the red's the first step to pink.
Okay. I think you just need to add another color. Like, I'm not sure which one.
But you need to talk to PRS about that, because I'll be up for it. I'll do it in a heartbeat.
Sweet.
That would sell so hard. I don't know
Well, I know
who would buy it.
I know you'd buy one, Andy. So yeah.
If I could afford it, I would. If there was some way.
They were going for, in America, I think they were going from about $15,000 or something, 14,000, 15. I'm not sure how much that is in the UK. How much? And I don't even know. From what I gather, the guitar distributors, right? They each get one guitar. And they didn't know what guitar they were going to get. And I think they sold before they even got the guitars, right? So whoever bought them, they didn't know what number they were going to get, which I was quite surprised. Yeah. And I still don't know which number's which, to be honest.
One person, Jan in the chat, he bought the Raven one, and he paid $14,500 for it.
The Raven one, so that's not the one, because I saw...
Is it this one? No.
No? Maybe we'll figure it out. Jan, let us know.
Raven one. Is that this one that was it? I saw some unboxing video that was it Peach Guitars did or something, and that had a Raven design on it, but then that's in England. This guy bought it in America. I don't know.
No, let us know, Jan, which one you got. Joe, when you were painting these guitars, and I understand that you perceive every single instrument as a piece of art. It's not just framed; it's basically something you put around your neck. Did you simultaneously paint on various guitars, or did you one guitar after one guitar? So subsequently, how did you approach that?
Yeah, I started off. I had all the designs worked out before I even started painting, apart from the one that I changed at the end. But then I was doing one guitar at a time, and then when I got halfway through them, I was working on 2 or 3 at a time, just jumping off them and hopping onto another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jan says his guitar is the one that's on the PRS website. So I'm just looking through the picture. I have it. I found it.
Oh, you mean the red?
Wow.
Where are we? There we go. It's this one.
That's a glorious one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that
cool,
is something
that
special.
I like that one.
That's a beautiful.
It's actually one of the simpler designs, and for the shape of a guitar, it's actually a good shape for a design for the guitar, right? It's busy, but it's not too busy. Because I know some of the designs, they get very busy, and some people find that it's too much for the guitar. But hey, it's all personal taste, isn't it? But this one, this one worked out pretty well, I thought. I know Mark liked this one, actually. He was hoping to get his hands on either that one or another one, but it never happened.
Great. It's like asking about your favorite children, but is there one design in particular that you thought turned out super good, or that you were super proud of?
Yeah, funnily enough, I think one of the sort of couple of the last ones, which were mainly red and black ones that I did. I can't show you, but if you flick through them, I'll show you. There's the one you have actually. That's one of my favorite ones, but it was one of my earlier ones I did. I've always loved that design. I don't know why. I just love that one. But also with the old man, you showed that one with the old man with his soul coming out of his mouth. I like that one. But yeah, the one you showed before with the little sort of demon baby and stuff was one of my favorites.
I'm just going to flick through them very quickly.
I like that
stop
one
me
too.
If there's anything you want to say in particular.
That one I love. It's last one. But it's very busy, but it's just, you know.
Yeah.
I like that
Joe,
one.
are you into Blade Runner or anything? Is that a film that you enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely. The sequel as well as the original. I mean, I love the original, but the sequel was amazing.
Yeah, just some of the geisha stuff. I was getting a little bit of. Now I'm starting to sound pretentious. I don't even like the words I've just said, but I was getting a bit of Blade Runner influence from some of your designs.
Well, that wasn't conscious if it did, but there's a lot of Asian influence in my work, Japanese art and stuff, especially like the old old woodblock prints and stuff from the 16th century. You'd know if you saw them, you know what they were, even if you don't know what they're called. And they're very famous artwork, like Japanese artwork. But a lot of that stuff creeps in to my work. So maybe that's what you're seeing. Yeah.
I think what's going to happen, if it hasn't happened already, is that people are going to start getting these designs tattooed on themselves. Like I think you're going to see people with that.
Well, it started off. I mean, that's what apparently Mark was looking for. He was looking for like tattoo design online originally, and he came across my artwork. And I hadn't, I'm not brave enough to tattoo myself, and I have no real desire to tattoo myself. And but I actually exhibited at the London Tattoo Convention like a few years back. I had an exhibit of all my work there and stuff, because the community has kind of embraced my work. Because again, like the rock community, my work kind of fits into that world. But it's not really me, so it's quite funny, really. Yeah. Mind you, I did go for a midlife crisis and consider getting a sleeve. My wife just said, "Nah, you're not doing that."
Well, at least you've got a whole catalog of cool designs that you could pick from. So
I don't know why anyone would want to tattoo my work on them. Just saying, but hey, all whatever,
But here's the thing: when we did the research, and I shared that fun fact already with Andy, when we did research about your art and also the press coverage of the Tremonti anniversary models. Interestingly, you could find info about the guitars not just on gear websites, but also on tattoo websites, on designer websites, painting websites, and also medieval blogs. So a super widespread variety of kind of media and the people that were kind of picking that up and kind of sharing the news. And I find it very interesting because usually, we are a big community, but it's still rather niche when it comes to the guitar world and that realm. But to have, combine that surrealistic art and PRS guitars to a piece of art kind of outspread to so many different other realms, let's say, and other communities, I found it pretty interesting to see.
But I suppose that's the beauty of this kind of a collaboration, right? Because it brings both things, art and the guitar world, to different. It brings it to people's attentions and stuff, and pulls more people in. So I think it's great when they do projects like this, because a lot of people discover it. So it's a fun thing.
Do you think you'd be ever interested in licensing this kind of thing, so your design or your style to be put into a more mainstream version of the guitar, like a PRS do an SE version, which is the more affordable version, which I guess would need to be printed or transferred somehow? Is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see what happens, but yeah, I mean, potentially. If they did an SE version, I'd just be doing one design. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll be doing one design and they do a decal and print that one design, do a run, however. Yeah, because I don't know how much the SE Tremontis cost, but they're a lot cheaper, right? They're like $100,000, are they? Or are they more?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's like 1,000 euros?
Under $100,000. Yeah, so they're
and maybe
affordable. They're affordable.
Yeah. But I mean, I've never actually held an SE. But if they did do one, I definitely just want one because I think I deserve to have a guitar in my studio.
Absolutely.
I feel like I want one.
Is there an elephant in your building, Joe?
No, whether can you hear? You know what it is? It's typical. The bloody fire people are here today, right? And they're just checking all the sprinklers in the building. And they're starting to do some drilling. I actually saw them an hour ago and said, please keep it quiet for the next hour. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. Is it really loud?
No, it's all good. It's just I had to at least bring it to the attention.
Yeah, that wasn't me, by the way.
I just saw tattooing yourself under the desk.
Are you in the studio, Joe, at the moment? Is that your studio or? Yeah.
Well, this is just my sort of clean work area and stuff. Yeah.
All right.
My reference
so do you keep
that
separated from your home, or is that part of your home?
No, separated. So I live in Santa Monica, right, which is on the west side of Los Angeles by the sea, and my studio is about 20 minutes from my home. Yeah, I couldn't work at home. I need to get away. Yeah, and get away from my work sometimes. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I work at home, and it can change things.
Yeah, sometimes. And I haven't got kids and stuff, but if you do have kids and you're trying to work, it's another distraction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So stop in a minute. Sorry about that sound.
Not a problem. So, the way that you answered my question about doing the more affordable PRS SEs, I kind of feel like you've already had that discussion, and I don't want you to go any further down this, but the way you answered it in a way that Tom Holland has been answering the Spider-Man questions.
Like I said, nothing's been agreed. I mean, it's ideas have come up and stuff, but we'll see what happens. But I genuinely don't know at this point.
Okay.
But it's possible.
Yeah.
If they're interested in doing it, I'd be up for it. Yeah.
Well, I guarantee that you would sell at least one to my friend Benji here in Austria. So that's one. And by the laws of statistics, which I understand so much about, then there's probably thousands of others.
Yeah. I mean, that was the elephant in the room that we can hear at the moment. When we put the guitars in the show as one of our picks of the week, everyone was kind of, well, that's super cool, but that price tag, you know. So I could totally see a market for an SE version, or maybe 2 or 3 different designs that you could pick from, like a V1, V2, V3, something like that.
Hey, listen, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd of course I'd do it. It'd be a fun thing to do. But it's typical, isn't it? It's like I'm here every day of the year. You don't hear a mouse fart, and then suddenly I'm doing this, all right, and flipping elephants in the room. I have got a very large dog behind me. My dog Odie, who's.
Oh wow! What kind of dog is Odie?
He's stupid. He's a Bernie Doodle. So Bernese mountain dog mixed with a poodle. Yeah, they call Bernie Doodles. It's just they mix anything with a poodle. Yeah.
I can just see some fluff down there.
You can't really see him. Odie.
Hey.
Ah.
Sweet.
He's sleeping. Yeah.
What an awesome looking dog. Cool. So as Floop-de-doo in the chat has just suggest everyone contact PRS about SE models with this artwork. And Dan, do you agree that would sell like proverbial hotcakes?
Definitely, yeah. Actually, I was thinking about tagging Beth and the other guys at PRS, and maybe they find some interest and see the reactions from people from the show. Because as Joe already outlined, he's not, there's not too much out there about, his art like with Tremonti apart from the official videos. So taking that opportunity to kind of get his perspective and a little bit more background knowledge, I think is just adding to the whole, image and the whole story. So I give my thumbs up. I would buy one too. So just to add to my my 2001 Tremonti, one of the first ones. Would be a good sister to it.
Is that when his first signature guitar was it 2001?
It's one of the first ones that says Mark Tremonti on the 12th fret, and it's all black, natural binding, beautiful guitar. I think they had a lawsuit against Gibson shortly after, so they
something about that.
So they kind of put the single cut design on hiatus for a couple of years, but they won the lawsuit. And like, to me, it's a gorgeous design. Like, for a single cut manufacturer, I think it's one of the most like modernized but still kind of classical designs. And that's why ultimately I ended up buying one, despite PRS not being my prime brand, but that was just a piece of art itself already. And so it kind of seemed logical for Mark also to approach an artist and kind of, even put the icing on the cake of his guitar design and come up with the Fenton, the original Fenton. Yeah.
I mean, it's great. I mean, yeah, because I know there's like a hierarchy, but there's Fender, Gibson, and PRS, which are they like the three biggest manufacturers? Would you say
in the States?
Guitars?
In the States, yeah, definitely.
Just in America, right?
Yeah.
Because I know from just talking to friends, family members, and stuff. Usually you're in the Fender camp or the Gibson camp, or you hate PRS, or you love PRS and you hate Fender. It's weird. Yeah. There's quite a lot of.
Joe, you are diving into some very strong politics there, because people have very strong opinions. It's almost a very political world, because we spend. I'll speak for the entire guitar community now. As a majority, we spend too much time looking at our guitars and not enough time playing them. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But people are passionate about it, so that's a good thing. Right.
Fergie in France, Fergie pointed out something that I was going to bring up. PRS need to do this with the SE, because otherwise someone else will just make a bad rip-off decal like the Kirk Hammett ones you get on eBay. I think, and I'm certainly not trying to influence anything, even if I could, but if PRS does not do something in this vein, somebody else will. Because that's what happens.
What you mean? Rip off my design, or
yes.
do the, that's a copyright issue, isn't it?
Yeah, but those Chinese kind of companies, they don't really give a damn about it. What I would find interesting to kind of combine the original artwork and kind of let that transition also into the neck and have some sort of intricate inlays or something along those lines. Because at the moment it's still very PRS-y with the birds. But imagine if you would have some of those flying eyes or some of the that stuff.
That also, it's funny you should say that, Dan, because I genuinely have not had a discussion with PRS about this. But if you think about that, was it the Dragon that they did, which is correct. With this amazing and ornate kind of mother of pearl design going up the neck, and for me that's starting to border on sculpture, right? In a funny way. So I'd love to do something like that. Because then it really is becoming like a jewel, isn't it? I mean, they're amazing, those things. The craftsmanship's incredible. I mean, they're beautiful. So I
think you should go both ways. You should do the more affordable SE versions, but also go super nuts and do a super expensive one, as Dan said, with inlays based on your artwork, with sculpture. You could even sculpt like a headstock as well. You could go nuts, and I think.
You could sculpt a whole. Yeah, you could sculpt a whole guitar, but I mean, again, I'm not knowing about guitars, because depending on what it's made of and the finish on the guitar really affects the sound, right? The acoustics of the guitar. So
yes,
right. So if you were sculpting a guitar, I don't sculpt like chiseling out of wood. It would have to be sculpted in clay and then cast into resin or some other material. I'm just wondering how that would sound. How it would change the sound of the guitar, but people probably would be buying it as a collector's thing rather than something to play.
Also, resin doesn't really subtract too much from the tone, because it's a very stiff material. And I mean, I work with Ibanez guitars on a daily basis, and we have a couple like J Custom resin guitars too, and they usually do not just look well, but they are also very, very resonating. So it's not something that would hold someone back from actually appreciating the tone of the guitar. I don't think that would be detrimental.
No, resin's actually a pretty good move.
Yeah.
Resonating, you say? Sorry.
Resonating.
Was it Fender or Gibson that did it was completely transparent? It looked like clear resin guitar that I saw online somewhere.
Be acrylic, right? Stuff like that.
Was it acrylic? Yeah, acrylic resin.
Yeah, that's the Armstrong stuff. But Fender do them. I mean, a lot of companies do them now. People also do them. There's a company called Stone Wolf Guitars in the UK, and he has epoxy resin that he puts things in. So he has like a mold.
Right.
And then we'll put in like a Lego figure, or has a guitar with the dead fish in it, or something.
Or some Peppa Pig toys, or something.
Now we're talking. Now we're back. Also, by the way, someone recommended in the chat earlier that you could start off with a pink guitar and do the painting in the relief. Does that make any sense?
I mean, funnily enough, when I was figuring out with Mark how the 20 guitars were going to look and stuff. I mean, initially we could have had any color we wanted, but I just thought, to save time and the fact that I was doing 20, I think just to have the same base color for all of them, it was just going to be more manageable for me. But we could have had a gold guitar, and I could have done gold leaf design on it. You could go to town with the stuff, right? But it's like, I think because I was doing so many of them, I'd still be doing it now and for the foreseeable future if I was doing anything more elaborate. But it's, who knows, man? I mean, if they were happy, I think they were happy with what I did. And so hopefully, there'll be some more projects. It'd be great.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Tremonti Tribal?
Yes, I did see that. That was something. That was a decal, right? He did. I got a feeling he said his brother did that design. I'm not sure.
Very likely. I just came up with that because this guitar, it was a very simplistic design. It had like a tribal on the bottom of the guitar and also on the headstock. But that was one
that
where
was
they
an
also
SE,
altered.
Right?
No, that was like a full US made one.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, very small numbers, but that had one where they even altered like the design of the headstock, so it had some of those kind of tribal-ish elements, and then the PRS logo. That was also very very early 2000s when that got released in limited numbers. And so Jan says that was a design done by his brother. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I thought that's what he said. But I mean, I think PRS haven't really ventured too much into combining artwork with guitars, right? They've done a bit, and obviously they've done their Dragons, and they've got the odd musician. I can't remember that band from the 70s where they used some artwork from the album cover, The Scream or something. And then Santana, they just released one, didn't they, with some image on one of their guitars from one of his famous albums.
Yeah.
So, I think guitar companies are also looking for ways to change things up a bit as well.
Absolutely.
Right? And find new ways of selling the products.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, who knows?
Yeah, well,
who knows, guys?
I had no idea how tonight was going to go because it's a very different thing for us, but I'm very glad that we got the chance to talk to you. And I think that at least I personally have arrived at a point where I think, I'll say it again, that the PRS SEs would do very well, but also some even more ornate stuff where you get to really go wild with some sculpture would be, as a guitar lover and as a guitar is a piece of art, I would love to see that. So I really hope that you and PRS do more together, and if you do so, I wish you well, and I hope you'll come back to us and Dan and I get a small percentage of the sales.
I was about to say that. Definitely Dan. Dan was angling for a percentage there. I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
It was a blast, Joe. I hope that at some point we get a chance to talk to you again, maybe when you come up with the 25th anniversary or 30th anniversary or any other crazy design. Please keep us in the loop about everything you do, not just in the guitar realm, but also with other activities. Like you said, you do sculpture things. I think you also design some sort of coins. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I've got some videos and stuff of stuff that I've made, because often I film stuff when I'm working on it. So you can check it out.
So we made sure that everyone is aware of your website and also YouTube channel. So I hope a lot more people are now aware of the great art that you produce. It was a great episode. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, both of you, for having me. Yeah. And, I forget it's nighttime with you guys, right? It's late.
Yeah, it's like 10:15, right?
Yeah,
it's late for me. I'm a morning person.
It's time to start thinking about going to bed.
Yeah.
Well, listen, and also I love your Christmas decoration, and I think you should have used real hair.
Well, SJ is in. SJ was the one that asked about what type of paint you used. She's the one that created this.
Yeah, well, I think it's a
I
beautiful
think they're
thing.
so good. They're so good.
It's stunning.
All I did was provide the face and the hair. Well, I didn't. Well, not actually the hair, but hang on. Didn't I say last week that if it went above a certain price, I was going to send a lock of hair with it?
I think so. Yeah.
Did we reach that price?
How much did
I would say so.
What's the charity?
SANDS, the stillbirth and neonatal death for support for children and parents and families of babies that didn't quite make it. There are 4 made, and I'm keeping one because I have to. There's one has been bought by Henning that sold for €100. The one on eBay went for £62, I think. And there's one left, which we're going to do with Just Giving, which people can donate €1, £1. We haven't sorted out the currency, and you get 1 ticket, or 10, and you get 10 tickets, and then we'll raffle off with all those numbers in somehow next week.
Fantastic.
I have to get someone to figure out how to do that. Someone cleverer than me. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, and SJ is also an amazing artist. But as Dan said, I wish you all the best, and we wish you the best
too,
as a collective. Oh, Odie's back. Let's just say goodbye to Odie. There he is.
Hey. That's animals at the end, right? Is there a better way to close an episode? That's perfect.
I better take him out to do his... anyway, that's another story. But thanks, guys. Literally, I really appreciate it. And happy Christmas, man.
And take care.
Maybe again
Good
soon.
time.
Yeah, take care.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers, Joe.
Bye.
Yeah.
So Dan,
that was great.
What a different and wonderful person to talk to.
Absolutely. Yeah. You could immediately tell when we reached out to him, that was like 3 weeks ago. I was like skeptical if he would say yes, but he was super nice already on like chatting on Instagram, and didn't even underline how much of a nice person he is, and amazing artist. I love that. I would have that in my house everywhere. We didn't have the chance to ask if Mark has a lot of his artwork in his house, but I would assume so.
Well, we'll have to get Mark on the show then, I suppose, just for that one question.
Wow, that would be interesting. Interesting episode. For sure.
Dan, will you ask the people in the audio world to give us 5 stars, please?
Absolutely. But firstly, let me say we're very sorry that it was a very visual-centered episode. So I highly recommend to check out our Instagram. I'll ask PRS for permission to repost the images of Joe's artwork. So you can check it out there. Of course, make sure to subscribe to Andy's channel. And if you have a smartphone, make sure to check out the Guitar Stories podcast on iTunes or Spotify. We're currently listened to in more than 22 countries, but still could use some help with some 5-star ratings on iTunes. So grab your smartphone or your mom's phone or your dad's phone or your dog's phone and give us a 5-star rating.
Or Mark Tremonti's phone.
Or Mark Tremonti's phone, or Miles Kennedy's phone. You know, if you're on tour and Miles is sitting next to you, just grab his phone and
just grab his phone.
Leave us a nice comment, 5-star rating there. Apart from that, this was episode 57. Another blast. Thanks, Andy, for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, I could be upstairs watching Get Back on my new home cinema system, and instead I decided to hang out with you lot. So that's how much I love this show.
Awesome. Well, then I suppose we see each other next week.
Yes.
With Perfecto de Castro.
Yes. News. Perfecto's actually going to be joining us from the beginning of the show next week, and Dan will be joining us slightly later because he's off on some fancy do. Is that right? Some fancy
business dinner
thing. A business dinner.
maybe I'm back in time. Maybe I'm back on time, but you never know. So just to make sure that we have like at least 2 people talking gear, Perfecto will join us from the very beginning, and if it will be from the 3 of us from the very beginning, even better, right?
Absolutely. 3 is a magic number.
Yep.
All right. So Dan is technically the guest, Sarang. Yes, he is. And on that note, I wish you all well. I will see you next week. And I'll see you, Dan, on WhatsApp in a little bit. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Guitar Stories Podcast, your #1 show for everything guitar.